You are listening to Housekeepers Chat by the United States Department of Agriculture from 1927. Disclaimer: this is read from a historic archive document. Do not assume content reflects current scientific knowledge, policies, or practices.
This broadcast was aired on Tuesday, the 18th of January of 1927.
How to spend the family income and have some left at the end of the year is discussed by Aunt Sammy today. All the information, including the menu, has been approved by the United States Bureau of Home Economics.
I hope you haven't forgotten the subject of our chat today. Instead of taking you to visit the thrift expert whom we met yesterday, I've brought her here with me. She has made a special study of spending plans, and you may depend upon it. Her information is practical and reliable. She will tell you how to make a budget, and then I shall give you a menu. Don't be surprised if her voice resembles mine. We used to live in the same city. You may have the floor, Mrs. Thrift Expert. Please tell us how to spend our money wisely, how to make a budget, and how to live up to it. We may take notes as you talk.
Good morning, ladies. It is indeed a pleasure to be with you again. I shall outline a budget or spending plan, and then Aunt Sammy will give you another thrift menu. In the first place, making a budget means writing down what the family earns, what the family plans to spend, and what the money will be spent for. In order to spend wisely, you must know what you have to spend. The first step in making a budget is to estimate your income. Write down all the sums of money you are fairly sure of receiving during the next 12 months from earnings, sales, interest on investments, and all other sources. In making the list, don't be too optimistic. It's better to underestimate your year's income rather than to overestimate it. The next step is more difficult. Make a list of all the items that the family income must cover during the coming year. Do this in a systematic way, taking one class of expenditure at a time. For instance, your budget might cover the following items: food, housing, clothing, operating expenses, furnishings and equipment, health, personal asterisk, and development. Under development, we will include education, church, charity, recreation, and such items. Now, let's consider food, which is probably more important than any other one item. At least it takes a big portion of the average income. If you do not know what you have been spending for food, keep a record for a week or two. If you see places where you are being extravagant, improve your method of buying. Then, after you have kept a food record for a week or two, plan what you think you should spend for food during the year. If you live on a farm, much of the food will be homegrown. You will be as careful in the use of this as of your bought food. But in your budget, your plan for spending, you will consider only the food which you expect to buy. Next, take the item of housing. On the farm, if a farm account is being kept, the household budget need include under the head of housing only one item: repairs and improvements on the house. In the city, the one item, rent, may cover all expenses for housing. But if you own your house, you will have to include taxes on the property, water rates, fire insurance, repairs, and perhaps improvements. If you are still paying for the house, you will list interest on a mortgage. Third, let's consider clothing. In planning the expenditure for clothing, make a separate list for each member of the family. This is quite a task in itself, for you must note the articles that each member of the family has, those that will be needed in the course of the year, about when they will be purchased, and the amount that will probably be paid for each article. Remember that besides new clothes, old ones will have to be repaired, and there will be expense for cleaning and pressing. Fourth, we will take up operating expenses. Under this head, list the anticipated expense for fuel, light, telephone, laundry, household supplies, car fare, postage, and all the many little things you will need to run the house. Then again, perhaps you must buy new pieces of furniture or have old ones repaired. It will be easier to get an accurate estimate if you make this list and all the others in considerable detail. Otherwise, many little things will be forgotten and no provision made for them in your plan. Next, we have the item of health, which includes dentist and doctor bills, eyeglasses, medicine, and so forth. This is a difficult item to forecast, but you can make a rough estimate on the basis of past experience. There is another item, which I have called personal, for personal expenditures like candy, haircuts, special toilet supplies. Give each member of the family an allowance. Then comes what the budget makers call development, which we need if we're going to live efficiently and fully. It includes church and charity, recreation, education, and so on. Under church and charity, list the amount you expect to spend for the support of your church, your community chest, and other such organizations. Under recreation, you may list concerts, lectures, the movies, and perhaps a vacation trip. Education will include newspapers and books, and school expenses. If you run an automobile, estimate what it will cost during the next 12 months for gasoline and oil, repairs and replacement, insurance, taxes, license, and new equipment, and perhaps for garage rent. On the farm, if you wish to know what the family living costs, divide the expense of the automobile between the household and the farm business. Now, have we included all the known needs of the family? Let's check them. Food, housing, clothing, operating expenses, furnishings and equipment, health, personal, and development. We need one more item, savings. It really should come first. There is a future to consider. You want to own your own place, have money in the savings bank, have insurance enough to care for the family, and feel sure you can handle emergencies. Therefore, when you make your budget, decide how much you can save each month. Think of this sum as you do the rent or the grocery bill as something that must be met each month. Now you have two lists, your estimated income for the year and your estimated expenditures. Compare the totals. Are the estimated expenditures less than the estimated income? They should be. Go over your expenditures till the total is less than the total income. You may find some extravagances if you look for them, especially in small things. As I said yesterday, your first budget may need changing. As you find your mistakes and see ways to improve your spending plan, change it. Keep a record of what you spend. Check your expenditures with the budget each month or oftener, and if necessary, change your scale of spending the next month. Make your form of keeping records as simple and clear as possible. Every family has to work out to some extent its own form for writing down household expenditures, and use plenty of common sense in keeping it. Let me emphasize one thing before I conclude my talk. Your record of expenses is not a formal account book. Don't waste time in accounting for every penny. I have known housewives who spend $5 worth of time and good temper trying to account for a missing 5 cents. It is not how much you have spent, but how you spend it and what you get for it. That is important. Your object is not a set of balanced books. You want to know where your money goes, so that next month and next year you can spend more wisely. Have I said enough about budgets? I don't want to be like a friend of mine who talks continually about household accounts and family budgets. Mealtime is budget time at her house. While the family eats, she talks about the cost of butter and eggs. No wonder her husband props his paper against the sugar bowl and reads the sports news while she discusses finances. The poor man doesn't even have a chance to talk about the weather. One more word about budgets. You know that habits of saving and spending, like other habits, finally become established. Mental budgeting becomes automatic in time. So, Even if you keep a written budget and record for only 2 or 3 years, you will have formed the habit of intelligently controlling the family finances, thereby greatly increasing the satisfaction and comfort of living. The budget plan I have given you is only a suggestion. Each housewife knows her own situation and her own needs better than anyone else. Sometimes she needs the wisdom of a Solomon to make the family income cover the family expenditures and still have some money left for the savings account. But I have talked long enough on budgets. I shall resign my place to Aunt Sammy and the Thrift Week lunch menu.
Aunt Sammy speaking now. I have planned a supper or lunch menu for you today. Quick turnip soup with toasted cubes of bread, chopped meat sandwiches, and a dessert of hot gingerbread with cheese, date, and nut filling. Quick turnip soup is easy to make, and the short cooking of the turnip helps to save the vitamins. Since the turnips are cooked right in the milk, all of the important minerals are saved. Quick turnip soup is particularly good for children. Here's the recipe for quick turnip soup. 7 ingredients. 4 cups milk, 2 cups grated raw turnip, 1 1/4 teaspoons salt, 1/2 teaspoon grated onion, 1 tablespoon flour, 2 tablespoons butter, 1/2 teaspoon parsley cut very fine. 7 ingredients again. 4 cups milk, 2 cups grated raw turnip, 1 1/4 teaspoons salt, 1/2 teaspoon grated onion, 1 tablespoon flour, 2 tablespoons butter, 1/2 teaspoon parsley cut very fine. Heat the milk in a double boiler, add the flour and butter which have been well blended, then the turnip, the onion, and the salt. Cook until the turnip is tender, or for about 10 minutes. Sprinkle the parsley in the soup just before serving. With this soup, we shall serve toasted cubes of bread, the French name for which is croutons. Croutons, accent on the last syllable. An easy way to make croutons is to spread slices of bread lightly with butter. Cut each slice into strips, then into cubes. Brown the cubes in the oven. These are often served on top of cream soups or other soups. For the sandwiches, chopped ham seasoned with chopped pickle and moistened with salad dressing would be good. Or use any kind of cold leftover meat you have on hand. Just be sure to season the chopped meat so that it is tasty and moisten it enough to make it spread well. Hot gingerbread, with the cheese filling I told you about last week, is the one thing necessary to complete this lunch or supper menu. The recipe for hot gingerbread with cheese filling was broadcast recently. However, since there may be a few of you who did not get the recipe last week, I'm going to give it again. For the cheese filling, you will need 2 Neuchâtel or cream cheeses, 2 cups chopped dates, 1 cup chopped nuts, 1/2 teaspoon salt. Bream. 5 ingredients again. 2 Neuchâtel or cream cheeses, 2 cups chopped dates, 1 cup chopped nuts, 1/2 teaspoon salt. Bream. Mash the cheese and mix with it enough cream to give it the consistency of a soft filling. Add the dates, nuts, and salt and mix well. Split open a loaf of hot gingerbread. Spread the cheese mixture on the lower half. Replace the upper part and press it down lightly. The quantity of cheese filling given here is enough for a loaf of gingerbread about 8 by 10 inches. Serve the gingerbread at once while still hot. To repeat the menu: quick turnip soup with croutons, chopped meat sandwiches, and hot gingerbread with cheese filling. This is a good menu to use when you haven't much time to prepare a lunch or a supper. You may need an extra supply of croutons or toast if your family is especially hungry. Before I leave, I must tell you something the thrift expert forgot. She has written a circular called Planning Your Family Expenditures, which explains in detail some of the things she discussed today. If you are interested in making a budget, write to me in care of this station, and I'll send you a copy of this circular on budget making. The full name is Miscellaneous Circular Number 68M, Planning Your Family Expenditures. It is free. And while we're talking about sending for things, don't forget the radio cookbooks. Another supply has just been printed, and there are enough to go around now, at least for a month or 2. We may have to order a third supply later on, because the cookbooks are going like, you know what they're going like, hot cakes and maple syrup.
This broadcast was researched and produced by BreakAway Empire LLC.